Hey Army, welcome back to this channel. Did you know there was one single moment in Las Vegas on May 23rd, 2026 that made the entire world stop and stare? It wasn't the fireworks exploding over the strip. It wasn't someone hitting the jackpot on a casino floor. It wasn't the blinding neon lights cutting through the Nevada desert at night. It was the braided hair of a man named Park Jimin. Yeah, you heard that right. On that historic night, in front of 65,000 people who had packed Allegiant Stadium to the very last seat, Jimin stepped onto that stage with his already iconic long blonde hair, now braided to absolute perfection. And within minutes, the internet completely exploded. The hashtag Jimin Braids shot straight to the #1 trending spot on X in the United States. Fancam videos capturing that moment racked up over 1 million views within just the first few hours. International media accounts couldn't stop talking about it. So what exactly happened that night? How can a single braid shake the entire world? And why did ARMY from every corner of the earth end up in tears just from watching this performance? Sit back and get comfortable, because we are going to cover all of it, from beginning to end, deep, complete, and guaranteed to give you chills. Before we talk about that legendary braid, we need to understand why this Las Vegas concert was anything but ordinary. BTS, 7 men from South Korea who completely changed the face of global music, had just finished their mandatory military service. For years, ARMY around the world waited with restless hearts and an ache that wouldn't go away. RM, Jin, Suga, Jhope, Jimin, V, and Jungkook. One by one they fulfilled their duty to their country, and one by one they came back. And now, they were back together, whole, as a fully reunited 7. This was the Arirang World Tour, BTS's 6th world tour, an epic journey spanning more than 85 shows across 34 cities in 23 countries, running from April 2026 all the way through to March 2027. Las Vegas was chosen as one of the first stops in North America. And not just any venue, Allegiant Stadium, the stunning home of the Las Vegas Raiders, with a full capacity of 65,000 fans per night. BTS scheduled 4 consecutive nights here, May 23rd, 24th, 27th, and 28th, 2026. The city of Las Vegas itself dressed up for BTS. Restaurants rolled out special BTS-themed menus. Nightclubs hosted official after-parties. Arte Museum Las Vegas opened an exclusive BTS exhibition. And most epically of all, the iconic "Welcome to Las Vegas" sign was lit up in a special red color in their honor. Even the Sphere, that futuristic Las Vegas landmark, displayed the word Arirang rotating across its entire surface. The city literally gave itself to BTS. This was not just a concert. It was a celebration of homecoming, reunion, and resurrection. So when Jimin stepped onto that stage on the first night, the emotional weight in the air was already immense. The ARMY who were there weren't just watching a show. They were witnessing history. Now, when we talk about Jimin, we're talking about an artist who has already become a legend at a remarkably young age. Park Jimin, vocalist and dancer of BTS, born in Busan, is someone who has always managed to capture every eye in the room, even within the most famous group in the world. His voice, soft yet emotionally devastating. His movements, expressive and hypnotic. And of course, his look, always a hot topic wherever he performs. One thing that became Jimin's defining visual signature in this Arirang era was his long blonde hair. Unlike earlier BTS eras where Jimin frequently switched between shorter styles, in this comeback era he grew it long, flowing, luminous, and unmistakably his. ARMY had been wondering for a long time, with hair that long, when is Jimin going to braid it? And on the night of May 23rd, 2026, that question finally got its answer. When Jimin appeared on the Allegiant Stadium stage with his blonde hair neatly and artistically braided, the already roaring stadium exploded to a completely different level. The screams of 65,000 people bounced off every wall. So many ARMY who had come in planning to fully soak in the concert without a phone screen ended up surrendering and pulling out their cameras anyway, desperate to capture this moment forever. "I couldn't not record it," one fan wrote on X. "It was too beautiful not to preserve." Now let's talk numbers, because the numbers are what truly prove the scale of this moment. Even before the concert was over, the hashtag Jimin'S Braids had already climbed to the #1 real-time trending spot on X in the United States. Not just trending in the general category, it appeared simultaneously in the music, dance, and celebrity categories. 3 categories at the same time. That doesn't happen every day. Fancam videos capturing Jimin's braided hair performance broke through 1 million views on social media in an incredibly short amount of time after the show. But perhaps the most viral moment of all wasn't the spectacular stage action or a dazzling freestyle dance sequence. It was a simple, deeply human moment. Jimin smiling at a security guard on that first night. That video reached over 69 million views and 9 million likes in just 5 days. More than 53,000 comments flooded in, with reactions like, "This looks like a scene straight out of a movie. This image deserves to be on a book cover. I am currently researching available security positions." Laughs. Yeah, ARMY always has their own brand of humor. And it wasn't only happening online. On the streets of Las Vegas itself, advertising trucks plastered with photos of Jimin, organized by American fans, circled around Allegiant Stadium and cruised through the Las Vegas Strip. All 3 sides of each truck were covered with Jimin's face. Photos and videos of those trucks went viral on social media, adding another massive wave to the already overflowing tide of content. This isn't the first time Jimin has created a phenomenon like this. He is one of the highest brand power idols in the K-pop industry, and has been for years. But that night in Las Vegas, it felt different. It felt personal. It felt like a moment that had been anticipated for a very long time, by ARMY, and perhaps by Jimin himself. Of course, the viral explosion around Jimin's braids cannot be separated from the extraordinary stage performance surrounding it. The Arirang World Tour was designed with a 360-degree stage, meaning there was no bad seat in the house. Every fan experienced the same intimacy. Every expression, every movement, every costume detail, visible from every angle. One of the most heart-stopping moments of the night came during the body-to-body freestyle dance segment. Jimin, with his braids moving in perfect rhythm with his body, executed a 2-spin followed by a sensual groove that sent the audience into absolute chaos. Fans who were there described it as a moment they will never forget for as long as they live. One fan who attended that night wrote about their experience. "I saved for 8 months to get this ticket. I flew in from across the world. And when Jimin started his freestyle with those braids, I cried. I don't even know why exactly. Maybe because I couldn't believe it was real." There are thousands of stories like that, from every part of the world. Fans who came from Asia, Europe, Latin America, the Middle East, all carrying the same love, the same longing, the same tears. And that wasn't just about the aesthetics of a braided hairstyle. It was about what that moment represented. This was Jimin, returned. This was BTS, whole again. This was a celebration of a very, very long wait. The impact of Jimin's braided moment didn't stop in America. Its waves traveled across every continent. In South Korea, major news portals immediately covered the phenomenon. Star News Korea published articles about how Jimin dominated America's trending lists with his blonde braids, and how fancam footage broke through millions of views in record time. In Japan, where BTS has an enormous fan base, similar hashtags flooded Japanese Twitter's trending section. In Brazil, one of the countries with the largest ARMY communities in the world, entertainment outlets covered the story and fans flooded Instagram and TikTok with clips, captions full of exclamation points, and heart emojis that just wouldn't quit. And across the globe, in countless countries, ARMY group chats were suddenly buried under screenshots, videos, and reactions. Fans who had never been to a BTS concert watched these clips on their phones and felt something shift inside their chests. Jimin braided his hair and the world collapsed. One fan wrote with dramatic flair, "But honestly, who could disagree?" This phenomenon even caught the attention of The Hollywood Reporter, one of America's most prestigious entertainment publications, which covered BTS's Las Vegas Arirang World Tour extensively, highlighting how every single aspect of BTS's performance, including Jimin's hairstyle, became an endlessly discussed topic across every social media platform. If we step back for a moment and ask, why Jimin? Why is it always Jimin who has this extraordinary ability to create moments that shake the world? The answer is layered, but let's break it down. First, authenticity. Jimin is not the type of artist who performs coldly or keeps distance from his audience. He shows up fully, his vulnerability, his joy, his love for the stage. When he smiled at that security guard, it wasn't a performance. That was just Jimin. And the audience, whether they were physically in the stadium or watching through a screen, felt that realness. Second, intentionality and detail. The decision to braid his hair on the first night in Las Vegas was not a random choice. It was a thoughtful artistic decision. And ARMY, who know Jimin deeply, understand instinctively that every detail of his appearance always carries meaning. Third, consistent excellence. Year after year, concert after concert, Jimin always gives everything he has. Even on the final night of Las Vegas, May 28th, while battling a cold and feeling unwell, he still walked to the very edge of the 360-degree protruding stage and kept performing for ARMY. That kind of dedication simply cannot be faked. Fourth, proven brand power. Jimin is one of the highest brand power idols in the history of K-pop. His influence and reputation extend far beyond the music industry, reaching deep into fashion, beauty, and pop culture at large. Put all of those factors together, and you get someone who can turn a braided hairstyle into international news. The Jimin phenomenon in Las Vegas is inseparable from a much larger, much more magnificent picture, the BTS Arirang World Tour. This is the biggest tour in BTS history. More than 85 performances across 34 cities in 23 countries, from April 2026 through to March 2027. This tour is proof that BTS has returned completely after their long period of mandatory military service, and they have come back stronger than ever. The album Arirang, which inspired the tour's name, was one of the most anticipated projects in music. The name Arirang itself is drawn from Korea's most beloved folk song, a symbol of identity, longing, and beauty. That name choice was no accident. It's a statement about who BTS is, where they come from, and where they're headed. In Las Vegas alone, they performed 4 consecutive nights at Allegiant Stadium. 4 nights. With 65,000 people per night, that means over 260,000 people witnessed BTS live just from that one city. And the economic impact? Staggering. Strip hotels were completely full. Airlines reported surges in bookings to Las Vegas. Merchandise lines stretched for hours even on non-concert days. The city of Las Vegas received a significant economic injection, all because of BTS and ARMY. BTS was also scheduled to appear at the American Music Awards on May 25, 2026, their first appearance at an American awards show in 4 years. They were nominated for Artist of the Year, Song of the Summer, and Best Male K-pop Artist. We might be so caught up in the viral moment, the braided hair, the view counts, the trending topics, that we forget to look at the much bigger picture. What is BTS actually building with this Arirang World Tour? They are building a legacy. The 7 members of BTS, who have been together for over a decade, who once came close to giving up in the grueling early years, who then exploded into a global phenomenon unlike anything Korean music had ever produced, are now back, more mature, more grounded, and perhaps more hungry than ever. They've been through mandatory military service. They've been separated, and they know, better than anyone, how precious these moments of togetherness truly are. Jimin braiding his hair in Las Vegas wasn't just about looking stunning on stage. He was becoming part of a story far greater than any single moment. A story about 7 men who refuse to be forgotten. About music that breaks through every language barrier and every cultural wall. About the bond between artist and fan that may be the most powerful one that has ever existed in the history of the modern entertainment industry. And ARMY. Those of you who cried in Las Vegas. Those of you who watched those clips on your phones in the middle of the night. Those of you who shared that video with a friend who had never listened to BTS before. You are part of that story too. So ARMY. From a braided hairstyle that some people thought was just about aesthetics, we've traveled through so much more today. About a city that dressed itself up for BTS. About 65,000 emotional breakdowns inside Allegiant Stadium. About numbers that exploded across social media. About why Jimin always manages to create moments that matter. And about the enormous legacy that is still being written. 1 braid, 1 million reactions, 1 billion feelings. That is the power of BTS. That is the power of Jimin. And this was only day 1 in Las Vegas. there were still 3 more nights in that same city. Still dozens of cities left across the entire world. Still so many moments yet to be born, so many tears yet to fall, so many memories yet to be made. The Arirang World Tour has only just begun, and the world, once again, is completely shocked by BTS. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss the latest BTS and ARMY updates. Drop a comment below. Which moment from Las Vegas gave you the most chills? See you in the next video. ARMY, we are one. Purple you. Purple heart.